You know, I think anybody out there, just about anybody, can consistently drive the ball 250 yards or more. Now that might seem really daunting to some of you out there, and that's okay. It's not like necessarily you're going to do it overnight, but hey, in this video I'd like to give you a few tips that are going to nudge you on your way if that's a goal of yours, to get it just longer in general. But a lot of people have a goal of getting it, you know, hey, if I can just drive it 250, then I'll be able to do X, Y, and Z, and of course I'll be a lot happier. So right after this, again, we'll talk about a few tips that I think are going to push you in the right direction and hopefully get you to 250. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve from HitItLonger.com. I'm on a journey to hit it longer and straighter off the tee, longer and straighter all the way to the green. And that means also I want to help you get longer and straighter off the tee. It's just more fun that way, isn't it? So, hey, if you're in and you want to join us, you want to get your drives out there longer and straighter, then by all means, join us. Hit the subscribe button, like this video if you liked it or it helped you, and leave a comment down below. And speaking of hitting longer drives, I hope, if you haven't already, that you'll pick up my absolutely free 50 Tips Distance ebook. I left a link down below in the description. Again, completely free. There's got a lot of really good information in it, and I think it's going to help you get the ball out there farther. All right, let's talk about 3 basic ideas that I think are going to help you get your drive out towards the 250 mark. Okay, now if you were watching the video closely, you noticed that I geared down quite a bit from my normal swing. The first requirement you're going to need to get you out to 250 is you're going to need the sufficient amount of club head speed, of course, and that is right in the range of 90 miles per hour. Now, if you go back and you rewind, look at the beginning of the video again, you'll see that I did a drive there where I was about just under 90 miles an hour and just over 250 yards, and that's really highly efficient swinging, and I hope to get you out to that mark. 90 miles an hour, though, is the minimum we're going to need, and for some of you, you're not up there yet. So let's attack that issue first. All right, now I've got my orange whip here, and you can get one of these on my website if you like, if you think it'll help you. Otherwise, you know, you could just use your own driver. It helps to have maybe a little bit of weight on the end of it. So, I mean, you could put a little donut or something on there, anything to weight it down, give it a little bit more momentum. Now, what I do with this one, I do a drill, and I do this a lot with my in-person students who are working on distance. For most of you who are lacking in the necessary club head speed to hit at 250, we're going to need more range of motion, both in the backswing and the follow-through. Don't forget, don't overlook the follow-through. So I do a drill with this orange whip called see it with the left eye, see it with the right eye. So I'll show you how that works. What I'll do is I'll wind this up, not for any speed. I'm not going for speed here. I'm going for length, very slow. I'm going to keep swinging the club until I can see it out of my left eye. So I'm going to do that first to show you the backswing. So see it, I see it, and swing it through. Now, on the follow through, I'm going to turn through and let the club come around and kind of crash into the back of my neck at about this angle, maybe even past a little bit. If I can get it to kind of break the window like this, that's even better. But at that point, I'll be able to see the orange ball out of my right eye. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to see it out of my left eye, there, and see it. What that helps us do is get a lot more possibilities, a lot more potential to accelerate that club to a higher speed at impact. And of course, a higher speed at impact is going to need a longer runway to slow it down, where we can only get it as fast as we can slow it down. If I put you in a machine, let's say, that made you swing really, really fast, you would not be able to slow it down on your own. It would wrap all the way around you, maybe to the point of injuring yourself. So do these really gentle. This is an everyday exercise. Practice lengthening out both ends of the swing. All right, so now that you're interested in swinging a bit faster, but also you're going to need to be more efficient with your club head speed. So It's not easy to swing 90 miles and hit 90 miles an hour and hit the ball over 250 yards. That takes a lot of distance efficiency, is what we might call it, or getting more from less. Another way you're going to do that is in your selection of driver. Now for this video, I'm using a 10.5 with a regular shaft. Now that's reasonably generic fit for around 90 miles an hour as a 10.5 regular, but I want you to make sure that you've got a club that you can adjust. It's not just going to be, you know, hey, just swing a 10.5 and do it like Steve. No, your swing might be a little different than mine, might have different flight characteristics. So get an adjustable driver and learn how to adjust it so that you can match the ball flight that you really want. Now, I've got a regular shaft. I think if you had a choice between regular and stiff, and you're just working your way up to 90 and you want to work your way up to 250, I'd go ahead and stick in the regular for a while, and because I think that's going to give you just a little bit more kick the ball up in the air, get a little bit more carry. The general mistake that most golfers will make when pursuing a higher club head speed up to 90 and trying to get their distance more up to 250 is that they don't choose a driver with enough loft or maybe too stiff of a shaft. So make sure, we'd rather miss on the more loft side than the less loft side. All right, a third concept we want to pay attention to is a concept that Mike Austin used to call under, up, and out. Under, up, and out. We're just going to concentrate today on the under and up part of that equation. Basically what that's going to give us is, what we're looking for is a rainbow trajectory with our drives. We're definitely not looking for line drive trajectory drives. We're definitely looking for more of a parabolic arc, high off the club face, really soaring up there, getting a lot of altitude and a lot of carry. Now to do that, we need to concentrate on two areas. That's number one is going to be the ball position. Now too many golfers, they've got that ball position in the middle, or even left instep's not bad, but I still want you to move that thing over and get it more to the big toe. Even to the middle toe would be okay too. What that's going to do for you is give the club head a few more inches to turn its way upwards. We really need launch angle. For most people out there struggling to hit it to that 250 mark, most of you out there don't have enough launch angle, not enough loft in the driver, not a good enough angle of attack. So let's get that ball forward in the stance way more than usual. For some of you, putting it to the big toe for the first time, it's going to look to you like it's completely outside your foot altogether. But we need that height, we need that carry distance. All right, now in conjunction with moving the ball forward, this is an awesome drill that I like to give a lot of my students to help get some of the steepness and the outside in out of their swing. You see, if we're going to swing outside in and steeply vertically and then downwards into the ball, we're going to hit a lot of low drives. We're going to kind of drive it into the ground with a downwards angle of attack, and that's not going to give us those high soaring drives we need to get our distance efficiency out there. But instead, we're going to come underneath this head cover. What I've done, I just take an alignment stick. You see where I'm setting up my bag here. Pull that alignment stick out of the bag with the head cover on it, and it makes a nice little target to stay underneath. That's going to help shallow out the swing, number one, which is going to help us turn the club upwards easier to get that nice high loft, but also it's going to get rid of some of our outside in as well. It's hard to do an over the top loop when you're going to come down and kind of hit the shaft like that. So make sure you're using an alignment stick or a shaft that you could be okay with parting with. And let me show you how this exercise works. I would go particularly slow at first, but just make sure you keep the shaft underneath the head cover. So I went really slow, but I really hit a heck of a drive. It was a nice high draw. And I put the numbers for that drive up here on the screen so you can see super distance efficient. But how much upwards I hit on the ball and how high my launch angle was. My launch angle was really high. and the club really had a chance to turn upwards into the ball for what's called a positive angle of attack. That's something we're going to need if we're going to be distance efficient and get the trajectory that we desire to get it out to 250. All right, of course, one last idea, maybe the most obvious one. The only way we're going to turn that 90 miles an hour into a good amount of distance, which will equate to maybe 250, maybe even a couple yards over 250 if we're really hitting it well, is that we're going to have to hit right in the sweet spot, right in the center of the club face. So if you haven't seen that tip yet on my channel, any of the other channels, you need to go to the drugstore, get yourself a can of the Dr. Scholl's Odor X foot powder, any other brand of foot powder. It's not the spray, but kind of the white spray powder, and coat your driver face with it. You can get 7 or 8 hits out of it, and it'll really clearly show where you're striking the club face. So are you all over the face, or are you trending always in the heel, always in the toe, always low, always high? We can read a lot by where you're missing the sweet spot, and that way we're one step closer to fixing it, whatever the issue is, and getting you hitting in the sweet spot more often. All right, I'm going to give it one more try here. I'm going to try to swing around 90 miles an hour and see if I can break the 250 barrier. It's going to take all the stuff that we talked about in this video: shallow upward swing, sweet spot contact, good ball position, and a well-fitting driver for this speed. All right, so I was able to do everything, all the tips that I talked about in this video. I definitely hit it pretty close to the absolute center of the club face. I hit up on the ball almost 4 degrees. I swung right around 90 miles an hour, and I hit it just over 250. So I just made it by about 1.5 feet or so. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm Steve. Thanks again to Golf Development Complex in Moore Park, California. And of course, if I don't see you in the next video, which I hope you watch, but if I don't, I hope I see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Take good care, everybody.